Hey everyone, welcome back to I was going to say talking pop culture then, and I told you I'd stuff this up. Direct market variant. I've got obviously my offside out from one of the variants here, Rocket. G'day, Rocket.
Hi, mate.
Good mate. And our guest from our friends at Talking Pop Culture, Mark. How are you, buddy?
How's it going, guys? How's it going, everybody?
So this is a new show. Obviously, we talk comics a lot on our channel and on Talking Pop Culture. You know, that's what we're about mainly. But there's a few of us in each group that are big sports nuts. Got three of the biggest ones here. Maddie from Talking Pop Culture was going to join us today, but couldn't, unfortunately. So he'll be on next week. And we're going to try and maybe do this weekly. Just talk a bit of sports. We've got a couple of topics to talk about. So we might as well just jump straight into it. First one up, though, we're big NFL fans, all of us. So what's everyone's thoughts so far? We're probably almost halfway through the season. How's everyone looking? What are people's thoughts?
Yeah, a few surprises, I thought. I think the Chiefs are a big surprise in a negative way. I thought they'd be doing a lot better than what they are. And then there's a few teams which I think we might talk about in the rundown a little bit further along. But there's a few surprise packets as well this year. For sure.
Well, I think my takeaway from the season so far, I think it's probably the most open the season's ever been for a long, long time, because there's probably 4 or 5 teams that can win it, but you could toss a coin for all of them.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, a lot of tight divisions right now, like the AFC West. Everybody's on the same wins and losses, like the Chargers, Raiders, Chiefs, Broncos. That's anyone's sort of, and the same thing with my team, Bengals. Like everybody's pretty much on the same wins and losses. There's only one win between it. Like everybody's still a chance to get in there, barring a couple of teams. But it's
interesting. Anyone's winning each week. If you look at like last week, the Jets win. No one picked the Jets to win. Do you know what I mean? It happened last week too. There's been a lot of upsets, and anyone can win on that day if you don't come with your A game.
Jags this week.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we'll jump on the Chiefs. Rocket mentioned them. I mean, one reason I wanted. I mean, they're a hot topic this week and the last couple of weeks because they're struggling. They did win the weekend, obviously, against a Rodgers, a minus Rodgers Packers, but just struggled to win. And Mahomes,
scrappy game, low scoring.
Mahomes not looking the best. He's really, I think they've been so dominant for these last 2 years that they've really pulled out these big plays just when they need them. And I think teams are starting to work it out a little bit now. He's finding it really hard to find those big home run balls, and maybe needs to look at the check downs and that sort of thing too. And also their D is really, really bad too. So what do you think, Mark?
100%. Like at the moment, like they're making sure they're covering Hill, which Hill's going to be a long developing play. So he's going to wait for the Hill to get open downfield. So he's going to have to hold on the board that little bit longer. And if Hill's not there, like there's only so long that an offensive line can hold their guys, and they spent all the big bucks on it, and it hasn't really improved as well. So
and even someone like Kelsey, who hasn't, who's definitely a Hall of Famer when he retires, but been a bit quiet this year. But I think the D's going to hurt him come playoff time for sure.
Yeah,
Mahomes can only do so much. I think that line isn't great. We saw that in the Super Bowl last year. But other teams have improved. The Chargers, the Rams picked up Von Miller the trade deadline, but didn't do anything. That's definitely a player they could have used.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll go for Odell Beckham now that he's available again.
Yeah, sure.
Would make a bit of sense.
Yeah, I mean, why not just go all out on offense?
Yeah.
Try and keep
out gun teams. Yeah,
he's got to look at that. He's got to look at that crossing route or do something because he's throwing ridiculous throws.
He's got to look inside. Yeah, for sure. Instead of looking for the home run ball. I mean, I don't think it's all on Mahomes. I think he's running for his life a lot of the times. But they just seem out of whack at the moment, don't they?
They do. They do. Even I think, like you just said, Kelsey. I think I watched the game 2 weeks ago, and they looked poor. And it looked like Mahomes was trying to connect with him, but he was dropping easy catches. I think he might have caught a touchdown that was overturned, but it just looks like there's not that connectivity that they've had in the past. So there's a breakdown somewhere. There's a disconnect somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we move on to a team that's probably the opposite of that at the moment. That's the Titans at the moment. I just wrote down these are the teams they've beaten this year. They've beaten the Rams, they've beaten the Colts twice, the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Bucks.
It's a good resume.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Wow.
I mean, I know some of those wins were with Derrick Henry, and he's probably out for the season now, by the sound of things.
Yeah.
But and they still won on the weekend. Are they legit?
It's hard to say they're not. Those stats you just reeled off. It's hard to argue against that record. Like, how do you?
Yeah.
I look at my team, the Cowboys, and we've got a great record. But I look at who we've beat, and I say, and we're in the NFC, and we're in the NFC East, where it's just an absolute mess of a division where you can win 4 games and still probably finish top 2.
100%.
But getting back to the Titans, you can only go on who they've beat, and they've beaten quality sides.
Yeah. And look, Derrick Henry is one of the best running backs for the last 10 years. No doubt about that. He's a huge loss. And I've got a history with Tannehill. Obviously, he's from my Dolphins. And I was more than happy for him for us to release him and see him go elsewhere. But my whole thing was you got to rely on him now, and you're going to struggle because he's not that player. But he proved me wrong on the weekend, so who knows?
Yeah, we'll obviously wait and see how it goes because, like, to be honest, Derrick Henry is probably the most important piece to any team at the moment because they are built for the run game. And, Tannehill, as you said, Tannehill's that he's got limitations, and perfectly for Henry, you run in that game, those linebackers creep up a bit more because they want to get those gaps. That middle of the field comes open, or if the safeties push up a bit too, then you got your one-on-ones out wide, and they've got Brown and they've got Julio Jones. So time will tell. Their run game didn't work on the weekend. Peterson got 21 yards off 10 carries. So they're still trying to do it, but their defense was amazing this week too. But they're still winning, and they're going to walk through on their division. So they're going to make playoffs, and who knows, Henry might be back by playoffs too.
That's true, yeah. Well, I don't think they've ruled him out for the season proper yet, so you never do know. He might just come back right at the right time if they make a deep run, for sure. Let's talk about our teams. Mark, your Bengals. Let's do a quick minute on our teams here. I think everyone's got a smile on their face here, except for me. I'll go last. You go, Mark.
It's been a pretty miserable last couple of weeks, actually, Jets, and then very worst showing against the Browns. I mean, up until this weekend just went, we hadn't lost for more than 3 points the whole season. All of our losses, which had only been 3, but still, disappointing. Joe Burrow's starting to do a lot of silly throws. Not always on him, but he's got to learn to do as we said before, the check down. He can't always look towards Chase now. He's starting to just stare down Chase, and teams are onto it. We've got great weapons. Still got T. Higgins. For some reason, we're not using Tyler Boyd, which I still think, as of now, is our best wide receiver until Chase gets a little bit more mature. Yeah, and Joe Mixon's there too, so we've got to use him a bit more. And our offensive line just can't hold up, and Burrow's just making silly throws.
Yeah, exactly. And
our defense has been the worst it's been in 2 weeks as well. So.
Yeah, and you're right on Mixon. He's turned into a great running back. Obviously got a checkered pass, but he's been really good. I'm looking at behind you there, mate. Where is your Chase jersey? How come you don't have one yet?
It is a funny story. I did order it, and it got lost in the mail. And it's a true story. So I reordered, and I got T. Higgins instead in case that popped up one day. Yeah, I was dirty about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Has Drew frozen?
He's frozen. He's frozen.
He's frozen in shock. He was frozen in shock. That's amazing. Can he hear us? Has he lost us? He might have lost us.
Oh, no, I'm back. Sorry.
He's back.
I panicked there for a second. I think the kids knocked something on the. My son just walked in then, and I'm like, what have you? Sorry about that, boys. Let's jump into the Cowboys. Rod.
Oh, jeez. I mean, I did have a smile on my face when you mentioned our teams, but obviously, bit of a blip on the radar the week just passed. We chatted about it earlier in the week, Drew. We were both like, WTF, what just happened?
At home, down 30-0 with 4 minutes to go.
It was crazy. I was obviously with the time difference. Most Mondays I'm at work, so I was at most Mondays, Tuesdays I'm at work. I was at work and I was on a break and I saw the score and then I thought, yeah, this is all good. And then I came back and I looked and I was like, is this what? That can't be right. But it was right. And yeah, I mean, as we chatted about, I saw some of the recaps and I saw that people were saying, oh, let's just chalk this up to just a week out of the box in a negative way. And I watched the game and I feel comfortable doing that.
Yep.
I think we just had a nightmare. We just had a mare right at the end there. And the week before, we pulled one out of the fire against the Vikes with no Dak.
Yeah.
We probably shouldn't have won that game, and we did. So a kind of a trade-off because we probably shouldn't have lost to the Bronx. Yeah. So I mean, hopefully back on track this week.
Well, you're right. The season you had, you probably can write this one off. But
and the last couple of years.
And a quick question, Rod. That I think it was Patrick that on Diggs. Do you reckon that was a push?
I guess to the letter of the law, but yeah, could have gone either way. So
when I saw it, I go, yeah, that's a push. Diggs had him covered pretty well.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Not worse than what happened to the Bears last night. My mate's a Bears fan. He was right.
Yeah.
That was
now he walked past the ref.
And the ref backed into it.
Unreal.
And even the taunting rule, that was so bad. Anyway, let's spend like 10 seconds on the Dolphins because man, I was going good this year. I was thinking playoffs for sure. It was a division we could have chased a wild card in. I thought the Bills were always going to grab that division, but man, we've been crap. It's been so hard to watch. We still don't know what Tua is. He just doesn't get to play that often. He's either got injured or even this week we set him out. He was fine. He was on the bench, and they played Brissett. So I don't know. It's a strange one. I mean, even our D, who was so great last year, they give up the biggest home run plays every week, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
So look, I dare say at end of season we end up with Watson. We've got nothing to play for this year. We don't own our first pick. That goes to Philly. Because we moved up last year the year before to get Tua. To Waddle. Sorry, he's been the only highlight this year. Waddle's been great. He's going to be a terrific wide receiver. Chase is obviously ahead of him. He'll get Rookie of the Year for sure, offensive.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't want to talk about them anymore. We'll jump on just the standings. We'll just have a look. We'll see if there's anything that's surprising us. Give me a second. Oh, that's the NBA. We're not there yet. So obviously we'll go by division. The Bills, you would have thought they would have run away by this division by now, and they're not. The Patriots are sniffing around, which is infuriating. You think the Ravens are probably going to take that division, depending on how the Browns go, I guess. Titans, for sure.
Yeah.
AFC West, pretty wide open. I think, Mark, you discussed it before. That's wide open. Dallas have got that division thrown up. Let's face it.
You'd hope so.
It's going to happen. Same with the Packers. They're going to play playoffs. The Bucks will take out that division. I'm pretty confident. And I think everyone's surprised that the Cardinals only lost one game and balling.
Yeah,
they're another one. Yeah,
in a tough division as well. I mean, that's over the last few years, it's probably been the toughest division in football. I would say.
I'm surprised Seattle, and even the 49ers, but I'm surprised at Seattle's season so far. I thought the Seahawks would have been a lot better.
Yeah, I was about to ask what the big disappointment, and Seattle would have been one of my guesses as well. So, yeah.
They've had Wilson out for a couple of weeks, so that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Obviously, he is that team.
Yeah.
But, yeah, NFL's going well, so we'll see how it goes. Are we still confident it's, a Bucks-Chiefs Super Bowl? Is that what everyone's sort of thinking still? Or? No?
Probably. Yeah. I don't know about the Chiefs.
I don't know.
I've got a sneaking suspicion they might just really, really just spoil stuff and just miss the playoffs even. It could happen.
Yeah, I won't be surprised this year.
The
way that things are happening with the Packers, I won't be surprised if Rodgers just has an FU season moving forward now and they could roll, really. They got a pretty good defense this year, so we'll see how that goes. Let's move on. NBA. What's everyone liking? We're only about a couple of weeks in. There's not much not much we can really talk about here. I always get
days,
NBA around February, to be honest. That's I
It's
know what's going on.
it's funny. There's a few teams. Portland have surprised me with how poorly they're going. I feel like Dame might be in a new team inside the next month. I've just got a gut feeling that the way they're traveling, I reckon he might just knock on.
Saying he wants to stay, so
I feel like he might just knock on head office's door and say, you know what, send me to a contender. Because
Go on,
it's either
It's either that or McCollum's going,
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, maybe both. Maybe they clear out. I don't know, but I just feel like the way they're traveling, they thought they'd be further along than what they are. I mean, after last year's disappointment, yet again, they seem to just be a perennial, almost got there, also ran. And I reckon he's just about had enough. I know, like you said, Drew, he keeps saying all the right things, but I think internally he's 30 now. I looked it up today because I was giving him a lot of thought today. And he's 30, and he's got to see that window closing, and he must be thinking, if I don't get myself to a genuine contender and do a Brooklyn or a Lakers or a Clippers and just get onto a stacked side and just give myself the best opportunity, I think he doesn't want to go down as a player that never got a ring, I think. So, and I don't think he's the sort of competitor that wants to be one of those guys that just gets a ring when he's 40 as a, coming off the bench for some stacked side. I think he wants to do it while he's still in his prime.
Yeah. It could be like a 76ers or a Knicks as well.
I was going to say, look, I don't see him as a ring chaser, to be honest. I don't.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see that at all. I think he's pretty loyal. I think he will stay. But and I never thought he'd leave, to be honest. Now you say that, is this the perfect trade for the Sixers?
Could be.
McCallum for Ben Simmons, or the other way around.
It depends if the Blazers want to take it, and does he fit with McCallum? I think he fits okay, but
I love McCallum. I'd keep him for sure. I think he's a great player.
He's having a bit of a down year, but he'll bounce back. He's a shooter. So other ones I think a bit disappointing too are the obviously the Celtics have been very disappointing so far.
Yep.
Now they're dealing with injuries. Hawks have lost like 5 games in a row. And I had them pegged to maybe take out the East eventually. Yeah. And that's been a big disappointment. And the Bucks obviously are off to a bit of a slow start too. So, and they've got injuries as well. So
I guess the ones that are surprised, I was going to say when we bring up the standings, but everyone's talking about Chicago, obviously. But and I didn't even think about this because I haven't thought about them for a long time, is Cleveland. Cleveland's going awesome this year.
I love Cleveland. Mobley's so good to watch, and Marketing as well. They have the 3 bigs. They start with the 3 7-footers. It's a weird lineup. Sexton just went down with an injury. He tore his meniscus, so it's possible he won't be back until maybe January or even February. So, but he was having a horrible year anyway, so to his standards. And now that brings Okoro back into the starting lineup. And I like Okoro. He's that 3-and-D kind of guy. You put him on your best, the opposition's best player, and he will make him work the other way because he can shoot. He's athletic. I like Okoro. I mean, I reckon they should give him more opportunity, and Sexton going down gives them the opportunity.
Yeah, they're a team I might enjoy watching now that, it's been a few years since LeBron. We won't get into that, but I'm not a fan. So go Cleveland. Obviously, the Lakers are the big story. That they are struggling. But I don't know about you. I'm not surprised about this at all. I'm thinking they won't get there. They won't gel until, game 50 or something. Do you know what I mean? So, and they've had a couple of injuries too. LeBron's maybe is this the year he shows his age and he's getting injured. So talk is that injury, I think it's an abdominal injury, might be a bit longer than people thought. But look, I don't know. When you change your team so much, it's going to take a long time to gel.
Yeah,
especially with like Westbrook kind of players. I mean, you got to take a while to gel with Westbrook. He's a different type of player, I feel. And
this is what I understand when people say, "Oh, why don't they pick up this guy or this guy?" LeBron needs the ball in his hands.
Yeah,
he's done his whole year, and so does Westbrook. So I don't know how that is ever going to work. To be honest,
I don't feel like it's going to, because even now, when I watched the Lakers yesterday, the ball was in Russell Westbrook's hands the whole time, pretty much. And you have Anthony Davis, who is a very good player, and he was playing against Miles Bridges against Charlotte. Great matchup. They never went to it. Like
Yeah,
Davis can score anytime he wants to, pretty much on Bridges.
Yep.
But yeah, it's Russell's team for some reason. And is, as you said, when LeBron comes back, is Russell going to accept that?
Yeah, but neither of them are shooters, so they can't play off the ball. So I don't know how that is going to work. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's move on because I'm sick of talking about Lakers. I'm not a big fan. Warriors. I mean, everyone loves the Warriors, don't they?
Yeah, they're the best. I'll watch them play anyone. They're so good to watch.
And I cannot wait. And they're doing this. And I thought they would do this last year, and then obviously Clay went down. That was never going to happen.
Yeah.
Obviously Curry, you can't stop. He'll do whatever he wants. And I'm glad he's having these years where he's like, all right, this is my team. I'm the best player here. Just time to light it up.
Yep.
But I can't wait for Clay to come back. And mate, I don't know. They could easily take this out.
Poole has surprised me. The development of Poole has been phenomenal. Curry dropped 50 today, or last night. They are on fire. 9-1 now, just killing it.
They don't even need Wiggins anymore, do they? They can probably trade him away.
Yeah, that's right. But
and I think
go, Rod. Go. Why?
I think they're still looking all right draft pick wise in the next couple of years too. They've traded well draft pick wise, so I think they can just build that side even when Curry steps away, whenever that comes. But yeah, they'll stay strong for a long time.
Yeah, and Wiseman could be anything. I mean, like he's
absolutely
this year.
Yep.
Yeah. But the good thing is you got Curry and Clay. The rest of the team you can trade if you wanted to, and just contend. You know what I mean? McCollum, put a McCollum on that team. I mean, there's a 3-headed monster right there. You know what I mean?
McCollum for Wiggins.
You have to throw something else in there, I think.
Well, you would, but still.
So obviously, the Heat, they're going pretty good in the East. And the Six, I mean, Ben Simmons would be dirty as that the Sixers are going so well without him, to be honest. That's really a good trade for him. But it's early. You got the Bucks. Like you said, the Bucks, the Hawks, the Celtics, they're all struggling, but I expect all of them to come good at some point, and they'll jump into the playoffs, I think.
You don't win championships in November.
No,
correct.
That's it.
And look, I don't think the West changes here at all. I can, except for probably the Grizzlies, they might drop out. Never know.
Yeah. So you don't think the Blazers will get there?
They're gonna have to. They definitely can. I mean, like I said, it's real early, but I don't see Pelicans, Rockets, Spurs, Timberwolves, Thunder, Kings. None of them are going to make it. So it'll come down to probably the Blazers and the Grizz most likely.
Yeah.
We'll get rid of this. What are we up to?
We didn't talk about. Did you guys see the Nikola Jokic, Markieff Morris incident?
Yeah. So obviously it came down today. He got suspended for a week. Game. Sorry.
One game. Tomorrow's game.
I thought one game was probably fair.
Yeah. I mean, the retaliator always gets done.
Yeah.
Morris did it 100% on purpse, and he got what he wanted. No doubt about that.
But Jokic's hit was double or triple as bad.
It was, but don't forget. Remember the last game last year? He got ejected as well. Remember?
Yeah.
So He's got priors.
Yeah.
But I think I saw Bill Simmons said on a tweet or something like the 12th man on the roster doesn't do that to an MVP. Like,
right.
That's dirty. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, well, the Morris brothers are like that. They've been doing it since they came into the league.
Yeah.
And just quietly, he stayed down for a long, long time.
Oh, he milked it, didn't he?
Like,
He's apparently pulled the
They
ankle in his hand.
had a stretcher on the court at one point.
No, they didn't.
Oh, they did. He didn't get on it, but they wheeled it out and had it next to him, and he struggled off, and they wheeled it off empty.
Did you see after the game that there had to get security? There was going to be fights?
Jimmy Buckets took the whole team to the locker room, and they all stood there and made a wall.
Yeah, that's he got fined for that too. Hilarious. Right, Mark, your Pistons, mate. How are they going?
Well, we didn't really had a game yet this week, and we play tomorrow, and then Saturday and Sunday. So, but struggling a lot. Cade's only played 3 games. No one draft pick is struggling a lot.
Yep.
But I think the only problem is the shots aren't going in, and I'm happy for that. The shots will eventually go in, and if the boys keep putting it up, we're getting good looks. Defense is good, which is always a plus. I don't know much more to say. I mean, stop playing Kojo, Casey.
But
Well,
you
that's
don't want
Corey,
to.
that's Corey Joseph. Stop playing him, please, and put Stephen Lee in there. And I like the development of Bay, but he's hot and cold. And I would like to use more of Isaiah Stewart. Like, I feel like last year we were really using him in a lot of like pick and roll situations, and especially pick and pop, like, because he can hit the three. And he's money from mid range as well, which people don't seem to realise, and apparently Casey doesn't realise at the moment too. So yeah, well, I got plenty of complaints about Casey's so far. I like him as a dude and as a motivator, but I think his coaching and his rotation is just a little bit off this year, especially. And but look, we'll wait and see. I believe Cade's going to be the guy because he's definitely got the stuff with the handling. He's good to the bucket. He made Matisse Thybulle look like a fool last week with an amazing crossover. So, yeah, it'll just take time. And I'm pretty patient. I've been waiting, 10, 12 years now. So
Casey's just probably trying to find the best lineup. That's what he's most likely doing.
I think I would like him to try these, like you said with about Tua on the backstage. I'd like to see him just try these young kids.
Yeah,
keep them on the floor too. Like a lot of the times he's pulling them out. They're only playing like 25 minutes. I'd like to see them play about the 30-minute mark. Like Killian Hayes, let the boys stay out there, even if they're getting flogged. Let them learn.
Yeah, true. Yeah, have it as a development year for sure. Now, Rocket, you've got a Bulls jersey behind you, and you're wearing a Knicks jacket, but you're a Spurs fan, mate. So
yeah, I just love the game, mate. But I love nothing more than my Spurs. And there's a lot to still enjoy, even though we are nowhere near the glory days that I've had the luxury of, living for the last nearly 10, 15 years, more 20 years.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation with the Spurs where I'm watching them as this young, no stars really. It's Keldon Johnson and DeJounte Murray and these guys that are not household names. And 20 points is a great night out for your lead player. And and even as you watch the Spurs social media, and it's all about team and great all round performance. And if we get a win, there's you'd think we'd won the championship. But it's weird, and I'm sure it's weird for head office. I'm sure it's weird for Coach Pop and those Spurs diehards that go every game, every week. The season ticket holders. It's a weird situation, and one a lot of them probably aren't used to. But it's good. It's good to be humbled, and it's good to be reminded that we've had it pretty good for a long time, and now we've got to earn it again. So not that we didn't earn it before, because we did. We were a great team, and Coach Pop's unbelievable. Hall of Famer, and he'll go down as one of the all timers. But it's good. It's nice. It's in a weird way. It's nice to not just expect stuff, to have to want it, and when you get a win, you feel like, wow, that was great.
Yeah.
So
sure.
that's where I'm at with the Spurs.
I'm with you because we're talking about AFL's fan, being a Hawks supporter.
Yeah,
I'm like that too. We had such a high for 15 years, and now it's really low, and I'm okay with it. I need a bit of an unwind, and the win is a win. So everything you just said, I totally feel.
Yeah, it's fun to relax and just go, hey, winning's a bonus, but as long as we play well, sort of thing.
Yeah, you just watch the young guys come along, and you take something from it still.
Murray's a good player. I really like Murray.
He is.
When's Pirtle back too? He's another one who's played well.
I don't know. He barely looks like a basketballer, but he just does things right.
He just gets to that position. Underneath the ring, follow up.
Yep. Yeah. Defensive giant. Yeah, no, he's good.
I don't know if we're all big NHL fans. I'm a massive NHL fan. I'm sort of invested this year because for the first time in my sporting fandom, I've done something that not a lot of people like. I've swapped teams this year. I was forever Flyers fan. Yeah, I know. And I rip people who do this. I was forever Flyers fan. That came from, I think it was NHL 99, playing on the PlayStation 2. Lindros was on the cover. Didn't know much about it, but it was him on the cover in a Flyers jersey. I'm like, all right, that's my team. And I haven't been that invested in NHL, to be honest. But this year, I love the love the city of Seattle. Sonics are my team. That's why I didn't discuss my NBA team. So I don't have one. I love everything about Seattle. They got their team, the Kraken. I'm invested. They're not good, but I'm going to ride it. So I'm looking forward to it. Mark, I know you're a Red Wings fan. That's right.
Yeah, Red Wings. Yeah, we've had a bit of a surprising good start. Got a lot of good young kids, kind of like the Pistons, but they're starting to gel a bit quicker.
Yep. Rod,
so,
you have a team?
I know Bertuzzi's on fire at the moment. So yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'm a Dallas Stars fan, but I'm not. I'm not hardcore on it. It's more I follow the Cowboys. I follow the Spurs. I follow the Yankees in baseball, but the majority of my teams are in Texas. So when it came to picking an NHL team, I stayed Texas strong and took the Stars.
they've had a decent history.
Yeah, they do. And I must admit, I took more of an interest when they had Gillette and Darian Hatcher and those guys, and they were winning Stanley Cups. I cared a lot more then. So, which is a bit fair weather, I know. But yeah, exactly. And then as the downturn came, I kind of went, "Oh, what's happening in the NBA? What's happening in the NBA?"
I believe that's called bandwagon, is it?
I'll
put my hand up when it comes to NHL. I follow them when they're winning.
But also, coming back into it, I think I discussed it with you, Mark. There's a new the series All for Nothing, which is a sports doco series on Amazon. They put a team around for a season. And this latest one is the Maple Leafs. They followed the Maple Leafs around last year.
Wow.
Really enjoyed it, and you get an insight of what hockey's sort of about too. So it was pretty cool. So yeah, cool. I don't think we'll discuss NHL every week, but I wanted to go the Kraken. Go the Kraken.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Last topic: Cricket World Cup. We're all cricket tragics here.
Yep.
I don't love the short game as much as everything. Me and Mark have discussed this before. I'm a test guy. I love the tests. But obviously, the semis coming up, the World Cup. We've got Pakistan on Friday morning, early Saturday morning, and the Poms and the Kiwis in the other semi. Anyone been watching any of the games?
I haven't watched much. I watched the highlight packages just because of the time. It's just hard with work. But I love it. And for me, a lot of the time, this is when it comes alive. Like you said, once the group games are over, and as you expect, the Aussies and England and those sort of teams are through at the top of their tables, and then the real stuff starts. So I think we're just about ready to really kick this tournament off.
Yep, I watched it early on in the World Cup series, one full game when it was on a bit earlier, and I do remember watching it, and I remember Hazelwood bowled really well to start off. We've got a couple of wickets, and I was quite surprised with the selection of Hazelwood and Stark in the team, because as a T20, I just don't think they had enough tricks in their bag as bowlers, fast bowlers. They're more just seamers, work the red ball. I know Stark's got a good inside swinging Yorker, but his slower ball's not that great, and that's what you live off in T20s. So I was a bit surprised that they're doing okay. Yeah. So,
well, I mean, Hazelwood got picked because his IPL was so great. That's how he's got picked. And that last game, I think it was the last game the game before, they went after him in the first over. I think he went for like 25, but then ended up with 4 wickets. So
he gets good bounce. So that's also important. I don't feel Stark gets as good as bounce. I mean, like Stark can do good bounces, but he's skid a bit more, I feel.
Yeah.
And Hazelwood gets good bounce. So it gets up around about that chest mark where you really don't have the arm sort of movement to really get loose of it. But then, as you said, you can have an off night and get spanked.
Yeah. I feel like we've fallen into the semi-finals. I haven't really seen us play a great game of cricket, to be honest with you. So I don't really expect us to beat Pakistan. I mean, they got probably the world's best batsman in there at the moment in Bubba. But look, buddy, Kiwis versus Poms. I mean, can they both lose?
That's exactly right.
That'd be good.
Is it just me to go on the selections? Why is Alex Carey not playing? Is his form bad, or?
I just think they rate Wade as a better batsman. That's all.
And he can keep. Yeah.
That's the only reason.
I don't like it. I like Alex Carey.
Yeah, so do I. I really like Alex Carey. I think he's great, and especially in the last the one day World Cup, he was awesome. He was probably our best batsman.
Yeah, he saved us many a times.
Yeah, I just wonder if do you think Wade can find the boundary a little easier than Carey can?
Yeah, I think he's just more damaging as a player.
Yeah.
He's got more
Yeah,
tricks.
yeah.
That's all it is. As a batsman.
He's a better slogger, but I just I just feel more comfortable with Carey in there.
Especially behind the stumps, I do for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
I don't know if you saw Wade drop the hat trick ball from Zampa.
Oh.
It was a tough one, but he dropped it. So
Geez, he's gone well too, Zampa.
he's one of the best spinners for one day, especially T20s. I got one little rant I wanted to do. My pet peeve in sports, which you might find funny, but my mates find it funny, is I hate when players have weird numbers. I just don't understand when you got all these numbers to choose from. That's like, that's like it's Rodman.
And
That's
you know
allowed.
why it's 91?
He's a weird guy. So
You know why it's 91?
Yes, but I don't remember.
Because he was number 10 at the Spurs and at the Pistons, and BJ Armstrong had 10 at the Bulls, so 9 + 1 is 10.
That's
So
fun.
okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. So I'm going to call out a player each week, and being the Cricket World Cup, won't get probably opportunity because I think we'll lose. Steve Smith, mate, number 49. I mean, out of all the numbers you could choose, 49.
It does feel like a dull number, doesn't it?
This is my pet peeve, and you'll see each week. It really annoys me. So
wasn't it with Schroeder's wearing 71 for Boston?
yeah.
I saw that the other day. I'm just going, oh, that looks so weird.
Boston won 99 at the Lakers too. 99.
Yeah.
Boston have got so many retired numbers. It's probably the only one left.
Yeah.
True.
All right, boys. I think we've talked enough and talked enough about sport. We want to keep this as a tight half-hour sort of show. Thanks for joining us, boys. This was a lot of fun, I can tell you.
Yeah,
really, absolutely, loved it.
So we'll definitely do this again. Maybe weekly or fortnightly. We haven't probably discussed that yet. We'll see how we go. But thanks for joining us. Shout out to Matty. I know he wanted to be on tonight, so we'll see you next week, Matty, for sure. But thanks everyone for joining us. Obviously, like and subscribe. Direct Market Variant to Talking Pop Culture with Mark and Matty. They do a live show every Saturday morning. Our show's Monday nights. Lots of content we all share. I think Matty put up a U review. Did you see that? Have you watched that yet, Mark?
Saw that.
Yeah.
I was like, Matty, what are you doing?
I know. It's terrific. He gets passionate. I like it. All right, boys. Thanks everyone for watching. Comment in the comment section, and let us know your teams, what's going on. If we're wrong, we would love to hear it. So thanks for joining. We'll see you again.